Well, if you bet the Seattle Seahawks last night, as I recommended in yesterday's video report, you had good intentions. What you didn't know, and that what I warned you about as well in yesterday's video report, is that you weren't aware as to whether Brock Purdy was going to be starting for San Francisco. And your choice was going to be Josh Johnson, the journeyman who was 1-7 in his 8 NFL career starts, and it would have been his first since 2019 last night for San Francisco if Purdy couldn't play. Well, a couple of hours before kickoff, the word came through that Purdy was going to play, even though he was questionable all throughout the week, and you saw what happened. He played an error-free game. That was what San Francisco needed. And Seattle's defense, as I also pointed out yesterday, was once again porous against the run, and the 49ers got the job done for their 7th consecutive win. And of course, their defense was just as good as it was in their previous 6. So if you bet Seattle, you got screwed. Maybe they would have won if Purdy didn't play, but we'll never know. Now, personally, it didn't matter for me because my best bet last night happened to be the 4th raise the bar 20 dime release I had in the NBA this season. And I can only say I wish they were all that easy. I had the Memphis Grizzlies. They were a 2.5-point favorite. They won by 41 points over Milwaukee. And no, I'm not embellishing for once. They actually won by 41 points over the Milwaukee Bucks. Go figure. Okay, listen, I've got a couple of complimentary plays here for this Friday card for you, and they have nothing to do with any of the bowl games. My actual best bet, however, is not in a bowl game today. I had no interest in Miami of Ohio UAB. I wouldn't watch that game if you paid me. I have no interest in the Cure Bowl clash between UTSA, Texas San Antonio, and who the hell are they playing? Oh, Troy State. Why? Because I never watched either one of those teams all year long. So how the hell am I going to give you advice on either one of those teams? And that's one bit of advice I can tell you about these college bowl games, of which we have at least 137 coming up in the next 2 weeks. And yes, now I am embellishing. If you haven't bet on one of these teams, if you haven't watched one of these teams, if you have no idea about one of these teams and you're thinking about betting them, are you nuts? I wouldn't do it, and this is what I do 365 days a year. But we move forward. My play actually tonight is on a team, believe it or not, on a game and 2 teams that I've actually watched this season. It's the FCS semifinal game between North Dakota State and Incarnate World. And yeah, I know I didn't watch Troy. I didn't watch Miami of Ohio, but I've actually seen these 2 teams play on replay on ESPN a couple of times each this season. What can I tell you? I got to get a life. Yeah, I know. But anyway, that's my best bet for tonight. So let's get with it. I've got a couple of complimentary plays. The first one is going to be in the NBA. And listen, this line between Philadelphia and Golden State overnight when I handicapped the game at about 2 o'clock this morning. And yes, again, I got to get a life. The 76ers were a 7.5-point favorite. As I check it right now at about 2:30 Eastern time, as I record this video for you, Philadelphia is up to 10. Why, you ask? Oh, that's pretty damn easy. First of all, that guy, Steph Curry, well, we knew he wasn't going to play. We knew Andrew Wiggins wasn't going to play. But since then, we've also now discovered that Draymond Green isn't going to play. And also Klay Thompson is now questionable for the game. So who is playing for the Golden State Warriors tonight? Not a hell of a lot of players that are going to make a difference in this game because, listen, I like the 76ers in this contest at -7.5. I like them at -8. I would take them at -10. I would take them at -13 because right now they're in the middle of a 7-game homestand. They've won 3 straight games. They've shot over 50% in all 3 of them. And James Harden is in a groove right now. In the 3 victories, he's got 43 assists. He's averaged 22.7 points, 6.7 rebounds. He shot 50% from the field. Joel Embiid in 5 December games, he's had a good start for this month as he's averaged 39.2 points. He shot close to 61% from the field, and he's averaged 9.8 rebounds. He's really got to do a better job on the rack, don't you think? So considering that the Warriors have been with Steph Curry on the floor outscoring their foes by 7 points per 100 possessions. And this season, when he has not been on the floor, they've been outscored by 11.1 points per 100 possessions. Don't have to be an MIT grad to figure out which way you want to go in this game. Just take the 76ers and don't look back. In college basketball, I was looking at a game and I was very interested in it. It was between Princeton and Delaware. Yeah, not a game that most of you were probably that interested in. Princeton, of course, is coming off that neutral site loss but cover against Iona a couple of nights ago. They were getting 7.5 to 8 points, and they lost by 6. It snapped their 8-game winning streak. Now, I'll be honest with you. Princeton is 8-3, including 3-1 at home. But the Tigers, other than playing Iona, really haven't played anybody of significance. Delaware, tonight's opponent, is 6-4, but 0-3 on the road. But I will give the Blue Hens props because they played a couple of teams. I mean, they went to Air Force, they lost by 4. Not that the Falcons are that good, but they made the trip to Colorado Springs, right? Not exactly easy, especially playing in elevation. They played Duke, they got hammered. You'd expect that by 34 points. And they lost by 13 points at the Plestra against Penn. They're coming off 3 straight wins, all at home. They beat Davidson, not bad. Beat Delaware State, a cupcake, and they beat Siena. In terms of strength of schedule, these two teams are actually even. And surprisingly, when you go over to KenPom.com, that Princeton's strength of schedule is 304, while Delaware is 268, because teams don't want to play the Princeton Tigers. Even though they don't play the same style of ball that they did in previous years, they just don't want to play Princeton. And it's tough for the Tigers to get quality opponents outside of Ivy League foes. And that's just the way it is nowadays. But I'll tell you what, I like Princeton here. I'm willing to go ahead and lay the 7.5 points in this contest and go with Princeton here. But of the two plays, I will tell you, I think Philadelphia, the 76ers, the stronger of the two selections. So that'll do it for your Friday complimentary plays. I wish you well, guys, and talk to you again tomorrow. Good luck.